and welcome to a special episode of Freak Eating Restaurant Challenge. This is actually probably the first restaurant challenge I ever recorded on camera. It was done using a very old camera, so please forgive the low resolution. It's recorded at Valentini's Pizza in Victorville, California in November of 2010. You'll notice that my facial hair looks pretty bad. Some people told me I had a pedo stash, but they didn't tell me that until after I shaved. So lesson, people. If you think somebody has terrible hair or beard or whatever, let them know. Now, as for the challenge, it's a 2-topping 28-inch pizza that weighs in, I'd say, around 10.5 to 11 pounds. 2 people get 1 hour to finish it. And if you do finish it, you get a $100 bounty, plus the pizza is free. At the time that we took on the challenge, it turns out that no one had actually successfully done the challenge. So, for this challenge, I actually did not bring a fellow competitive eater, I actually brought a teacher. Fellow teacher Steve, who you may remember or recognize if you've watched too many episodes of Reckless Eating. Long before I worked with Reckless Eating or met Matt Zion or Chris Reckless or any of the guys, it turns out that Steve and I taught high school. We were actually teachers next door to each other. He was a math teacher and I was the history teacher. And I let him know about my weird hobby about competitive eating, how I'd go and take on restaurant challenges here, there, and everywhere. And he kind of was interested and he wanted to get involved. And I found this, team deal and he was all for it. So all it took was a little road trip from San Bernardino up until Victorville where we kind of had an evening of, fun, I guess. How stupid is it that 2 guys want to go and see how much pizza they can eat? And of course, the rest, as they say, is history. We successfully took down the pizza. It took us almost to the wire. And Steve thought that he could eat a ton, or at least more than he ended up eating. He's a big eater, but what a big eater eats and what a competitive big eater eat are 2 much different things. I was worried that he was going to lose it there at the table, but thankfully he held it in. And it was just a weird melee. He was eating little pieces of cheese and crust at the end, and I was catching, little pieces here and there that he couldn't, take down. But it was a great team effort. There's no I in team, and I certainly at that point in time could not have eaten such a pizza myself. And afterwards we kind of had a conversation. He's all, what, man, I didn't really eat a half or anything. And I'm like, you know what, don't worry. You did what you needed to do and we won. That's what matters. It's not how much you carry it, it's the fact that we carried it together. And we actually took down a couple other team challenges after that. And of course, if you've watched Reckless Eating, you'll know that Steve appears here and there and he does challenges. He's no stranger to weird food. It's just really strange looking back, the fact that he knew these guys at Reckless Eating, that he knew Matt and Chris very personally, this whole crazy thing that I'd actually end up getting involved in. And, he's the one who does the challenge with me. It wouldn't be a couple years before I'd meet the Reckless guys. And as you know what happened there. They started me on a whole series, Natter versus the World. And then my own channel kind of took off with their assistance, as well as the help of Furious Pete and several other, people on YouTube. And I am where I am. And it's kind of fun looking back and seeing, where I've been and how much I've improved at the whole video thing and making a more entertaining product, I hope. I really don't know. I rely on you guys at home who watch and, give me feedback to make things better. And so if you did enjoy this video, please click thumbs up and leave a comment. What are some things that you'd like to see me incorporate in the future? I mean, obviously, I've been doing fewer restaurant challenges, and part of that is just it's difficult to find places that do official challenges anymore. Lots of places are far away. But if restaurant challenges are something that you really want to see me do, I mean, then by all means, I'm going to try to get to some more. And until next time, stay in school, don't do drugs, and eat like a freak.
First world problem, meet your first world solution. I don't got anybody to share my 2 liters of Red Bull with, so I'm gonna drink them all myself. Don't try this at home.